So we'll move on to the next problem. So this question was asked in June 2012 exam in ACCA. So it's another make or buy kind of a question. So we'll start from the requirement. So the requirement is advise Roberco whether it should continue to manufacture the keypads and display screens in-house or whether it should outsource their manufacture to the supplier in Kyrgyzstan, assuming it continues to adopt a policy to limit manufacture and sales to 80,000 control panels in the coming year. So they are going to maximum produce only 80,000 of the product. Okay, and the question is whether to buy or not. So that is the first part of the question. So we'll start from there. So you can read along the cursor. Okay, so another company is like offering to supply the keypads at $4.1 and the display screens at $4.3. So they have given assurance that the supply will be made for the next 2 years. So we'll read the other data. So finally, they have given total production cost, which is 374 and 390. So that is the total of all these numbers. So this cost, which is given, is for the 80,000 units. So there are some notes here. We'll read the notes. Okay. So the material cost for keypads is going to go up by 5% in the 6 months. So sorry, in the 6 months. So the first 6 months, it's going to be uh, constant, and in the next 6 months, it is going to go up by 5%. Okay. So and material cost for display screens is going to go by 2% with immediate effect. So variable cost, so direct labor is a variable cost, so it is going to be, it's going to remain the same, because the data which is given is for 80,000 units and the company is also going to produce 80,000 units. So that cost is not going to change. Even though it is variable, the units are same, so it won't change. So they say that the heat and power includes two parts. One is like directly used by the for the production of these products, and the other one is a general factory overheads. Okay, So general factory overheads we don't need to consider. So we have to take away that. So to remove that, they say that the general apportionment included is calculated using 50% of the direct labor cost for each of the component. So whatever the direct labor cost, 50% of this number is also included in heat and power. Okay, as a general heat and power uh, factory overhead cost. Okay, so that's what they are telling here. So whether we produce this product or not, it is going to be incurred. So it is not a relevant specific cost. Okay, it is a general cost. So we can ignore that. So machine costs are semi-variable cost, he says. So he says that the machine costs are semi-variable. So partly it is variable, which is related to the setup cost, and the other part which is fixed is 4,000 and 6,000. Okay, so we have to remove 4,000 and 6,000 from the machine cost and identify what is the uh, variable cost, and we have to appropriately change that number. And the last one is okay. So the last one is again apportionment of the general overhead cost. Okay, so we have to work out this. So we'll start from part A. So this we'll name it as part A, and what we want is particulars and keypad. We'll leave some few sentences and we'll put display. So all the numbers that we are representing here are dollars and thousands. So you have to mention this. So any other working that is required, we'll put it in these two blank spaces. So we'll start from direct material. So direct material is 160. Direct material is 160, and he says this 160 for screen keypads will go up by 5%. Okay, but he also says that this 5% will only go in 6 months time. Okay, so for the first 6 months there is no increase, and for the next 6 months there is a 5% increase. So we can actually put it like this: for the first 6 months the increase is 0, right? The increase is going to be there will be no increase. Okay, so we can actually put it like this: 1 plus, so 5% is the increase for 6 months. Okay, actually it is for the full 12 months. Okay, 12 year, but it is only relevant for 6 months. Okay, so only half of it will come. So when we solve it, we'll get 164. 164 is nothing but 160 plus half of the 5%, because for 1 year only it's 5%. For half a year it would be 2.5%. So we can put it like 110 2.5. So it's anyway it will come as 164. So the next concept is the display screen price will go up immediately. So display screen price is 116, and that 116 will go by up by 2%. So you can put it as 102%. Okay, so that would be much easier. So that's about the direct material. See, this also you could do it in any other manner you want. So this also, if it's going to go up by 2.5%, you can just simply, rather than working all this tough things, okay, you can just put 102.5%, okay, and you'll get the answer. So we'll use this instead of this. See, either way you do it, we'll get the answer. So the next one is direct labor cost. So direct labor cost, the company is going to maintain the same cost only, and they're going to produce the same units. So this will remain same. The next one is heat cost. So heat cost, there are two things here. Part of it is relevant and the other part is not relevant. So we have to work out a working note. Number 1 we'll work out. So we'll work out a working note number 1 here. So that is going to be heat cost. So let's get the heat cost here. So heat cost is 64 and 88. But he says that out of this cost, there is a general apportionment included is 50% of the labor cost. So we have to find out the general fixed overhead that is included here. How much of it is that? So that we have to work out. So for keypad, it is 40 of labor cost into 50%, and for and the labor cost for keypad is 60. So you can take that number, put it there, get the answer. Okay, it is 3. So the balance, okay, I'm not sure like why it is 3. Sorry, it is 50%. Sorry, it is 50%. So the balance is the relevant heat cost. Okay, we have to ignore all the general fixed cost because either product we produce or don't produce, that cost is incurred. So we can take this number here. So these two numbers, 44 and 58, and we can put it here. So the relevant costs are 44 and 58. So we have done with the working note number 1. We'll go on to the second one, machine cost. Okay, so again we have to work out one more working note. So we'll take all these numbers and So here we'll have machine cost. So machine cost is 26 and 30, and machine cost has the keypads has a machine fixed cost of 40,000 per annum, and the display screen machine cost has 6,000 per annum, while both components, okay, so this is a relevant fixed cost. We can't like ignore it. Okay, we can't ignore this fixed cost. It is relevant, but still we need to find out. So this is a relevant fixed cost. So relevant fixed cost is, it is 4 for this and 6 for this. So what is the variable cost of machine? Okay, what's the variable cost of machine? You can say this as fixed cost of machine. So the balance is 22 and here it is 24. So this will change with the setups. Okay, so now while both companies are currently having a setup batches of 500, this will need to change it to a batch of 400. So currently they are produced in batches of 500, so and now they have to be produced in batches of 400. Okay, so first we find out cost per batch. So to find out that, okay, number of batches or number of setup we'll do. So if you take setup, so currently goods are made in 500 batches. So currently how many setups we have? So we'll put, so the number of setups now would be based upon the units. See, there are 80,000 units. There are 80,000 units divided by how many units are there in a batch? Okay, there are currently 500. So this will give the, okay, so in each batch there are 160 units. Okay, 80,000 divided by 80,000 units are there, and in each batch there are 160 units. Okay, so he says the number of batches with immediate effect, two batches of 400. So the batches is going to become 400. Okay, so there are 80,000 units and 500 units are there in each batch. So totally 160 setups are being made. So now we have okay, so what is the cost per we can put per setup we'll put. So setup, if we put, it will come to 22 divided by 160. Okay, so this is the cost per setup. So this setup cost will not change. Okay, this is the cost of per setup, but the number of setup now will start to change. So the number of setup now here onwards, it will be 80,000 units, and these will be produced in batch sizes of 400. So how many batches how many times we have to set up the machine? We have to set up it for 200 times. Okay, we have to set it up for 200 times. So what is the variable cost now? Okay, so the existing variable cost will not be there. Okay, that will move off and we'll have a new variable cost. So we can copy this and we can paste it here and we can put new variable cost of machine would be each batch setup is 0.1375 into 200. So 27.5 would be the cost. Okay, so 27.5 will be the cost. So if you want, we'll repeat it. 0.1375 into 200 will give you the answer. So this is the new setup cost. Okay, so what about display? So display, we have to do the same thing. So we can just take all these elements. So this is going to be the batch size, everything is fine. This alone will change because the current cost is 24, not 22. It's 24 for display. And the new machine cost, we can just take it and from here, okay, and the amount would be so the total machine cost would be this new 27.5 and the fixed cost. Okay, so we have to add only two of the elements. So this and this alone we have to add. So this will come to 31.5 and this will be 36. So we can take both these numbers. This is working note number 2. So we got from machine cost is over. So let's see what else we have. We have next one is depreciation and insurance cost. So he says 60% of depreciation and insurance costs relate to the apportionment of the general factory depreciation and insurance. The remaining 40% is specific cost. Okay, so we'll put specific depreciation cost. So we'll do the working here itself. So out of the 84, only 40% of it is relevant. And for the other product, it is 96 into 40%. So it's 38.4. So we have done up to all the calculations. Now, if you want, you can take a note, but we have been doing this for 2-3 problems. Okay, note, ignore common or general fixed overheads. Okay, we have been like doing this. So now our concept is to find out the cost of making. So let's get the cost. So the cost of making the product is this, and how many units we produce. So number of units for both the products, it is same 80,000. Okay, so we have to find out what is the cost per unit of making. So all these numbers are represented in thousand itself, right? So when you are dividing, you have to be careful. You have to divide only by 80 because the three zeros will be cut, the 1000 will be cut. So don't put it as 80,000. So now find out what is the cost per unit of purchasing. So the cost per unit of purchasing, we have seen it as 4.1 and 4.3. 4.1 and 4.3. So additional cost of purchase. So if you see here, we are paying a higher amount. So if we produce itself, it's 3.9 only. We have to buy it at a higher rate from the supplier. So either way, we don't need to purchase them. Okay, we can just produce them. So that's about the concept here. So we have done the first part of the problem. So the next one is Robert code takes 0.5 labor hours to produce a keypad and 0.75 labor hours to produce a display screen. Labor hours are restricted to 1 lakh hours and labor is paid $1 per hour. Roberco wishes to increase its supply to 1 lakh units control panels, 1 lakh of each keypads and display screens. Okay, so the maximum available hours is only 1 lakh labor hours. Okay, and will they have the time to produce it? So the company wants to increase its production to 1 lakh units from what is like already available. So they say advise Roberco as to how many units of keypads and display panels they should either manufacture or outsource in order to minimize their cost. Okay, so this sum is something similar to limiting factor sum. So it is part B and it is limiting factor problem. So we'll start from here. So we'll start from particulars. So we need contribution first. So we should be like starting with contribution, but contribution is used to find out contribution per limiting factor. Okay, it's in terms of which product to first sell. Okay, so here we are not trying to find out the contribution. Okay, but we have to find out how much of amount we are saving. Okay, so it's all about how much of amount we are saving. So what is the buying cost or cost of purchase. Okay, for here we'll put it as buying cost, and here we'll put it as making cost. Okay, both of this in per unit only. Or else we will put here it as per unit. Okay, we'll put it as per unit, and we'll start from here. So the buying cost is, if we buy the product, we had the data somewhere here. It was 4.1 and 4.3. 4.3, and the making cost. So I think we can directly take this one. Okay, we can directly take these numbers and we can just use them. We don't need to type it again. Okay, so this is a cost per making it, okay, and purchasing it, and this is the additional cost. We can also tell this not as additional cost, but we can say it as savings from not purchasing. Okay, or savings from making. I think that would be much easier. Okay, how much of savings we make from making these products on our own. Okay, so we can as it's going to be savings, we'll remove this number. Okay, so we got our savings. So this savings has to be in terms of labor hours. So labor hours per unit. So it will take 0.5 hours to make this, and it will take 0.75 hours to make this. So we can find out what is the savings per labor hour. Okay, so we can divide this number with this number and get the answer. So we'll put it here, 0.186 divided by 0.5. So that's what this number is. So for the other one, but still we'll write it, 0.416 divided by 0.75. Okay, so which one are we making a better savings? Okay, see, we are making a better savings. So while doing this problem, okay, we should we'll start from part B. So part B is about how much labor cost we are saving. So we have to find out that what is the variable cost saving per labor hour. So that is what we want. So it's all about two things here. So one is the labor cost and how much of that labor cost we are saving. So what is the variable cost of making? So that we have to find. So first we'll start from that step. So the variable cost of making is, see, if you see direct labor, okay, so direct labor is a variable cost. So direct material is a variable cost, direct labor is a variable cost. Heat and power, okay, heat and power, there are two elements within that, so part of it is variable and the other part is fixed. Machine cost also is like that. Specific depreciation, so depreciation is also a is a fixed cost, okay. So first what we'll do, we'll copy the variable costs alone, okay, we'll copy the variable costs alone, okay. So these are variable cost, and in heat cost, okay. So heat and power cost are variable or fixed, okay, that seems to be the question here. Okay, so we'll make an assumption because it's not that clear. We'll assume that it to be a uh, uh, fixed cost, okay, we'll assume it to be a fixed cost because the data is not that clear. uh, Machine cost, again, okay, that is a variable element, so that variable element is like very clear in machine cost. So we can take machine cost and we can use it here, okay. So these are the variable costs here, okay. We don't need any workings or anything, you can just add it. So total variable cost will be these numbers, okay, and number of units, again, see this, all these are in terms of dollars, okay, these are dollar and in thousands it's represented. So number of units is 80,000 and total cost of variable is this. And now we can get the variable cost of making, or variable cost per unit, I think it would be like more than sufficient. So these are in terms of thousands, so that has to be divided by 80,000 units, okay, and the same logic applies here. So now we can find out what is the purchase cost, okay. So the cost of purchasing is 4.1 and 4.3, that you can bring it now and you can put it here, okay. So cost of purchasing, cost per unit of purchasing is 4.1. So what is the savings we are making now? Savings in making, so we save 1.2 here and we save 1.69 here. So what is the hours to make this, okay, so labor hours per unit would be 0.5 and 0.75, okay. So now we have finally come to our key concept here, variable cost savings per labor hour. Okay, so we have to rank as to which product we will produce. So rank would be, we will save more of our amount if we produce display, and we'll only save less of amount if we do keypad. Okay, so advise Robert Co as to how many units of keypad and display they should either manufacture or outsource. Okay, so now we have to find out the optimum production. Okay, we can put it as production plan itself, optimum production plan. So we already did in limiting factor problem, so we'll take that table. So we already did that. So production plan. Okay, so maximum demand. Okay, there are two products here. I think we have to take all of these items out. So we'll start. Okay, so these are our main numbers. Okay, first we have to find out the two products. So we have the keypad and display. So keypad is there and display is there, and both these products have 1 lakh units of demand, and each product takes a different time. So keypad takes 0.5 and display takes 0.75. Okay, but as per the ranking, the display is the number 1 item. Okay, keypad is the number 2 item, right? So it is comes as, that's how the ranking is. So display comes under number 1. So first we'll start with the total labor hours available. So the labor hours available which he has given is 1 lakh hours. Okay, 1 lakh hours are available. So if they start to produce display, if they start to produce display, so you have to multiply this. Okay, we'll put 1 lakh. Okay, 1 lakh or okay, right. So this is the hours available. This is the hours required. So the total we have is 1 lakh. So we can allocate 75,000 hours to this. Okay, so available is 1 lakh. If we allocate 75,000, we could produce all the 1 lakh units, all the 1 lakh units. But the hours available, okay, that will fall. So that will fall. So that's why we have put it as a balance. I think that we'll remove. So out of 1 lakh hours, 75 is gone. So the balance would be 25,000 hours. Okay, so now this 25,000 hours will also be extinguished because we need 50,000 hours, but we don't have enough hours. So the balance thereafter will be 0 hours. But with this 25,000 units, okay, hours, how many products you could produce? So each product takes 1 hour. So that's what he says. Each product keypad takes 0.5 hours. So how much could we maximum produce? 25,000 hours divided by each product takes 0.5 hours. So totally it comes to 50,000 units you could produce. Okay, you could produce 50,000. So the optimum production plan is this. You can produce 1 lakh units of display and 50,000 units of keypad. Okay, so that's about the problem here and the concept here. And the last one is discuss the non-financial factors that Robert Co. should consider when making a decision about outsourcing the keypads and display screens. Okay, so what are the things you should consider? So usually these are non-financial factors. Okay, so this is part C question. He says, so we'll put as 1, the company, okay, the company should consider the reverse, the knowledge transfer that occurs to supplier. So the supplier will learn a lot. Okay, so that he will learn a lot. That's a problem. The supplier in future the supplier in future can enter the market and become competitor. Okay, so even that is possible. Or 3, okay, the quality should be well established as the company gives okay, a warranty. Okay, how many times warranty? That's what they initially said. They give a 1-year warranty. Okay, so gives 1 year warranty. So 4, the supplier has promised for 2 years continuous supply. Okay, thereafter he does not give any assurance. Okay, so thereafter he does not tell any assurance or anything. So these are the factors that we have to consider. Okay, so the quality, the continuity, the knowledge transfer, the potential that he might enter the market and he might start to disturb the same company, okay, to which he has been supplying. So these are the problems which are existing here. Okay, so that's about this concept here. Okay, we'll move on to the next one.